Hey everybody, how's it going? So in today's video, I'm gonna show you, I got a little bit of a problem. So actually, it's a great problem to have. Our garden is packed full. Our brassicas are growing, our root crops are growing. We got carrots and beets and garlic. All these wonderful fall season, cool season crops are taking off and doing great. Probably seeing behind me. Behind you, there's tons as well, and they're looking great. We've actually had some really wonderful weather lately where it's been cooling off a little bit. It's a little chilly. It's been cooling down, but we've had some rains, which is fantastic. We've fertilized. Plants are doing great. Problem is, I'm out of space. Everything's planted up, and for a lot of us, I have this beautiful garden here at the school with some space to grow, but for a lot of folks at home, it's like they don't have a lot of in-ground garden beds, myself included. My home is the same way. I don't have a lot of in-ground sunny locations where I can grow. In some of the spots I do have some sunshine, I don't have great soil, and I don't have the possibility to really do in-ground beds the way I do out here. And so if you at home can appreciate that, whether you're living in an apartment or maybe you have a patio, so no matter where you're at, you can garden. So don't let that hold you back. If you don't have a big space like this, don't be hindered. Gardening is for everybody. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can get an amazing garden in a very small space without ever having to dig up any concrete or pull a lot of weeds. This is the easiest form of gardening, in my opinion, that you can currently do right now for the amount of effort and time you put into the amount of results, these wonderful positive results that you get. And what kind of gardening is that, my friends? Let's go take a look. Well, all right, so when space is limited, always consider growing in containers. Container gardening is where it's at. If you don't have a garden like we do have here, and a lot of folks, that's the issue. So don't get down, grow up. And so with containers, they offer so much versatility in your growing. You got different sizes, different styles. In today's video, we're actually gonna focus primarily on the wonder and joy of growing with grow pots, with fabric containers. Sometimes they call them smart pots, grow pots, fabric pots. And these are a wonderful option for a home grower, whether you have a small patio with a little bit of sunshine and you want to make the most of it, or you have a nice sunny area that you're not ready to just fully cultivate and grow in ground. You don't want to maybe say build a bunch of wooden beds just yet, or different types of raised beds. You want to maybe test the waters a little bit. Test them out with grow bags. I'm telling you, you won't be let down. They actually offer a lot of positive elements to growing, in that they breathe really well. That's the primary thing, is that these fabric pots are fabric, and the air and water can flow through them really, really well. Actually, I think so well that you can even use them not just with soil growing, but actually even in hydroponic growing. These can be utilized as well. And so they are just fantastic. Look, the sunshine's coming out, which is great. And so they are just fantastic at breathing, and which is also great at helping your plant's root system develop. So in a traditional plastic pot, the only draining you get is basically out those holes in the bottom, which usually isn't that great. And so a lot of issues I see people growing is that it heats up. For one, that black plastic container is going to heat up really, really hot. These don't really quite heat up quite to the same degree. They stay a little bit cooler. They also drain so much better. So the water you do give them is going to pour right through them, drain out. The water that you want to be held that's all going to be held by your soil. But they breathe so well. And what that does is that helps with the root growth, in that in a normal traditional plastic container, those roots hit the side of that container and they go, oop, I got to keep going, and then it turns and keeps growing. Then it hits the container again and keeps growing, and you get this gnarled up, girdled roots system that is bound up, and it's super elongated. It's not healthy for your plant. Eventually, it can really do harm to the health of your plant. And so if you've grown in big plastic containers or even small black plastic pots, you've noticed this for plants that stay in there for too long, they get that problem. Within these pots, the roots hit the side and they get air pruned. Air pruning is cool. It's where the root will hit that side. There's so much air on the other side that it doesn't just want to turn. It goes, no, I'm done, and then it just stops. And then instead of turning and continuing to grow, it cuts off its terminal growth and puts out lateral growth. So you get all these wonderful root hairs and these fibrous root systems that develop in here. So it's really going to help with the root system of your plant, which, do we have a healthy root system, that really is going to improve the way that your plant uptakes moisture, nutrition especially. It'll also anchor the plant more healthfully. And so having a healthy root system is just key to having a healthy plant and a healthy harvest, and that's what we want. And so with these grow bags, I'm telling you, it's a great option. What's nice is you can move them around. There's different sizes, ones that stay lower, so if you don't want to use as much deep soil, you can save some coin and do some that are lower profile. Some are long in troughs. You can get some small ones to start some of your smaller plants. We grow them in our strawberries in like a little 1-2 gallon version. I can do like a 2-gallon pot, and so they come in way even bigger than this. So you can even do small fruit trees, and some of these grow bags are so big. Which is great, because a lot of times fruit trees in containers, the limiting factor is the root space. But in here, with that air pruning, it can really help, especially if you have like a miniature nectarine or a true genetic dwarf. You'd be solid. These are 30-gallon pots right here, just to give you an example. But I've seen some much larger. And so what's also cool is that at the end of the season, if you want to recycle the soil, compost it, you can just scoop it out, dump it, add it back later, or with additional soil, or you can just keep amending it and building it up over time. The possibilities are endless, but you can see right here, we've thrown in some herbs, and I'll give you guys a close-up of showing us plant these and what we got here in the finale that's finally growing. We got some really cool options. But honestly, it's so easy. Like I mentioned in the intro, this is probably one of the easiest ways to garden, because you can literally go down and buy a container. They're light, they fold up. At the end of the season, you can fold them back up. One thing is a limiting factor for a home gardener is that sometimes you need a nice big pot to get some good growing in. But who's strong enough to be moving around, 50, 60 gallon size ceramic pots everywhere over your yard? You put it somewhere and it's done. These ones, you can empty them out, fold them up, stow them away. When you're ready to garden, if you're moving, it's fantastic. So your whole garden can just collapse with you and then travel. You can send them to friends and family. There's a lot of options a lot of opportunity to them because the options are endless. Like I said, the different sizes and different styles. Some have nice little handles on the side. But even if you're not a super strong gardener, which most people are not, myself included, having the ability to be able to move your pots around or empty them and then fold them up, stow them away, it's pretty cool. And like I said, it offers some versatility and some options to a home gardener about where you grow, when you grow, and how you grow. And so if you're out of space, you have limited space, or you just have the worst soil on the planet and you're like, I just can't get anything to grow, it's concrete out there, then you can throw down some mulch, put these on top, and then boom, you got yourself an instant gardening. So let's take a look at how we did this, and I'll show you some close-ups of how things are looking right now. So let's take a look. Lift it.
Oh, there you go. It's okay. It's okay. We'll clean up when we're done. As long as most of it makes it in there. All right. Yep. Pull it flat. All right, so right now it's time to plant. We got our plants set out. We got a bunch of herbs here. We'll massage those roots. We've already got our starter fertilizer in. And make sure that we get them all planted deep enough so that the entire root ball is covered. But you don't necessarily have to pile soil against the stems, especially on these woody ones. These other ones they're tender. They'll probably root into anything, so don't worry even one bit about it. We can add some additional soil if we need to, but they're looking pretty good. And we're gonna keep the labels in here for now, because that way I can show it off to the students and hopefully they can learn. All right, 2 down, 3 to go. Let's do it, nice and quick. So what we've got planted right here, we've got rosemary, we've got some Italian oregano, we've got the chocolate mint, which is just a fun chocolate flavored herb here. The kids kind of love it. It's gonna spread wild. That's why I always love growing these in a container. Because that way they don't spread through my whole entire garden. We've got chives, and we've got some golden sage as well. So we've got a little bit of everything here. We might even add some flowers at the end. Maybe even plant some by seed. And that's it. So like I said, we're gonna add a bit more soil, and then it's time to water. So our plants are in. We actually even added a snapdragon there. Now it's time to water. Give them a good deep soak. It's a nice cool time of year, actually. It's fall, so they won't need to be drenched and soaked day to day. Hopefully we'll get some rains here pretty soon, but of course, always on planting, you want to make sure you get them well irrigated and watered in so those roots can kind of spread out, get established. And here we have a lot of plants in such a small space. They're going to grow in and kind of battle a little bit with each other. You could space them out a bit more if you want, but for us, we really wanted to maximize how many different plants we're growing out here. Space is limited, so we're gonna pack them all in here. We'll let them spill over the edges, and hopefully we'll see what happens. So I cannot wait to see how these grow. See here, we had this nice big cement patio, but we can't cover it all the way up because we need to be able to walk through here, but we did fill up enough. So you can see we got 5 30-gallon pots here. This one actually, we threw in some cauliflower, and we're gonna see if we can't sneak them in here a little bit. We got them about a foot or so apart. They're gonna get really crowded in there eventually, but they can spill over they can spill over the sides, and they can spill over the sides and just continue to grow. And then hopefully we'll have, with that great soil in there, you can see we've thrown in some fertilizer, and the rains have been mixing it all in nicely. You want to work that in there a little bit. We got doing all organics out here. But now what I'm really excited about, especially for our chef and his students, the culinary students, is we have a lot of herbs that we planted. And so you can see here, we've actually got so many different types of thyme. We've got all the thyme in the world. We've got lemon thyme, we've got English thyme, and right here you have French thyme, which is gonna be delicious. I wish you could smell this. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. That would be so good on some chicken or on in a sauce or dressing. I can't wait. And this is actually one I'm actually just becoming a huge fan of. This is sweet marjoram. When I eat this, it tastes like, it's so floral, it's herby. It just has this great flavor. I'm really excited to see, maybe try it out when I get to maybe dry some, see what the chef thinks. But man, it's got so much flavor. Back there, we got some lemongrass coming, because I just love lemongrass. It's actually gonna get pretty good size, so we'll have to kind of clip it back. They're gonna, you'd be shocked at how packed these are gonna get in here. We've got some garlic chives, which are just packed full of flavor. Oh my gosh. They smell and taste so delicious and delightful. And then we've got some triple curled parsley back there. So we love parsley. We'll get some flat leaf eventually as well. I like the different types, but parsley is fantastic. And the other one here, we've got some Italian oregano, which also has a fantastic smell. This plant is gonna grow so crazy and big. It's gonna probably have to clip it back a little bit because they're in here pretty tight and friendly, but that's kind of how you want it when you have these containers. You really want to make the most of what you got. So feel free to push things a little bit closer than needed. We threw in some flowers just for fun. We got some snapdragons and a little pansy back there, but look at that fennel. Ooh, hopefully the chef can do something fun with that fennel, because it just looks cool and has a great kind of smell to it and flavor as well. There's a little lemongrass as well. So I got 2 of them just because I really like that lemongrass. It's kind of cool. And they'll help anchor this these plants in here, because they'll be permanent. These are all perennials except for the flowers that we have in there. Everything else will be treated, they'll be hopefully be treated as a perennial coming back year to year. There's that English thyme. And you know what? That smells good as well. And then the lemon thyme, we've got some golden sage, we got some onion chives. This one is I'm really fond of because the kids love it, and you can hardly kill it. That's why I never plant this in the ground, because it's mint, and the mint runs like crazy. So unless you have a lot of space, keep it in a container. But I wish you could smell this right now and taste it. This chocolate mint, my gosh. It tastes like a little Andes mint chocolate, which I'm usually not even fond of, but I do love these leaves. It's weird. And then of course, everyone knows this plant right back here, right? Let's see if you know it. That's a rosemary, a little barbecue style little addition. And so that's gonna be a delicious rosemary. So hopefully they can come out here with the chef and his students and just clip and get all they can. And then of course, this last one, the 5th one we have is more brassicas with a little colorful friend in there, this pansy. Look at how beautiful that is. Woo! And of course, we always like adding some color when we can to our garden. Just brings in beneficials, and it makes me feel better about life. And so here we got some more brassicas. I think we've got some graffiti cauliflower or something, so it's gonna be tasty. So you can do your larger vegetables, and you can also just do your herbs. We could do greens in here, lettuce, we could do flowers. You could have one dedicated to pollinators. And what's nice is these can be smushed in closer if we need to, and then spread apart later. Like I said, they offer a lot of versatility and options to a gardener and grower about where you grow and how you grow it. And like I said, you can move things around. Like I said, they have ones that are so much smaller that you can actually get some that are really suited to your size. Ooh, and then look, oh, there's all their friends, all their cousins are out there growing. It's fantastic. So, like I said, if you don't have this to garden with, which is fine, build your own garden. Bring in some soil, get some good soil, and get a little grow bag or 2, and get some plants that are going to grow good, that you're going to enjoy. And either hook them to that irrigation system, or literally just go out there and hand water them if you can, especially this time of year, fall, winter for us. Using Mother Nature and with a little bit of hand watering is easy, but by spring, you better believe we'll have all of these tied in to the irrigation system. That way, when we do grow in the summertime, these plants will have plenty of watering, and I won't have to be out here twice a day in the summer hand watering them. Which if at home, not a big deal, but out here at the garden, I can only come so often. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got something out of it. And I really hope you're motivated to garden and grow. Gardening is where it's at. Plants are awesome. And if you want more joy in your life, maybe just consider growing plants. Just consider it. I'm not going to tell you to do it, but just consider it. I think you might enjoy it. Even if you've never gardened before, at any age, no matter who you are, where you're at, grow what you can grow, and then grow some more. Until then, garden friends, till next time, garden friends, please come back, like, share, subscribe, share this with people you care about, because we want them growing too. But until next time, garden friends, happy gardening to you all, and please never stop growing.